Star Wars, it seems like a lot of your work seems to be influenced by like John Carpenter films, especially.
Oh yeah.
You know, you go through and you notice lines from They Live, or I think in this book actually he uses a line from The Thing.
Yes.
How many of these are just things that come out because you're as much of a fan of these as most your audience is, and how much of it is like purposeful Easter egg kind of thing?
Oh, I would say it's practically all are the former. I enjoy these movies myself. I've watched Big Trouble in Little China so many times it's memorized. I'm just a fan of the genre. I'm a gaming nerd, and I can fly my nerd flag with anybody and not feel ashamed. It's something it's just something in my life that has given me a great deal of joy, and I work that into to Harry's sense of humor and to what he's doing, and I think that's I think it's done a lot to help identify with the audience, because I know I can go out there and I can drop a Star Wars quote or make a reference to The Last Starfighter, and probably 8 out of 10 folks who are at the signing tonight are going to get it and laugh.
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
There's a certain amount of community in the sci-fi fandom that fandoms of any other genre just simply do not have.
No, it's absolutely massive. You go to a convention like Gen Con or San Diego Comic Con, and
yeah.
it's a massive turnout, and it's people from all walks of life. One of the things that we do with the website is we try to promote the idea that no, dorks really do rule the world. For example, the big summer movies that are coming out, there's 5 big summer movies, and they're all comic book movies.
Yes.
Oddly enough.
Wait, list them, because there's one I was trying to remember earlier, and I couldn't remember it.
Batman, Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Hellboy, and Wanted.
Hellboy, that's the one I was.
Hellboy and the Golden Army. Yeah.
Right. Hellboy versus the Dark Elves. I don't know if that's the actual title, but Hellboy versus the Dark Elves.
That's certainly what it looks like. The artwork is very much in that vein, absolutely. So, of these, is there anyone in particular you're looking forward to, or?
Actually, I'm looking forward to Narnia. Is the first I'm looking forward to, the next Narnia one, because after we saw the giant battle at the end of Lord of the Rings and Return of the King, when Rohan comes down the hill on the horse, it's like, man, Narnia is going to have, when the first Narnia movie came out, I'm like, man, they're going to have to work hard to top that. And while I'm not sure that they topped it, they made something that was really incredible and unique on its own, with the 2 armies charging one another and so on. And I'm really interested to see how they handle the next one.
Yeah, and that's it kind of brings to mind another kind of question too. With the Dresden Files TV series, they kind of raise questions of, how much control does an author really have once the property's licensed out?
This much. Although I will say I didn't have that wasn't the amount of influence I had. I could considerably more influence, but not any control whatsoever.
How hard is that as an author to see basically what's your baby taken and changed and melded into something new and different?
It could have been worse. If you'd seen the first treatment, the one that they did before they passed it over to Robert Wolfe and said, "Hey, Robert, let's see what you do with this," and Robert made it more or less like it was in the books. Yeah, the first treatment with Eric Dresden was considerably different and completely mutated.
Eric Dresden.
Eric Dresden. Yeah, if you look at some of the press releases from early on, they were talking about Eric Dresden, because they 2 people can't be named Harry. But yeah, you do have to. You have to come to a realization that if you don't want to retain. If you don't want to retain control of that, if you don't want to just keep it and not sell it off to somebody, you have to understand that, that might be your baby, but your baby's going to go off to boarding school, and you're not going to be in control of everything that happens. And for me, when they were coming along offering the rights, they said, okay, we're offering you the options, and what I heard was, we're offering you health insurance for your family for the next 3 years. Okay, yeah, I will do that.
In that case, then, what's the amount of input you've had on the forthcoming role-playing game?
That's considerably more, because that's being produced by somebody who's actually a friend of mine. He's a gaming buddy of mine from college.
Cool.
And they actually send the material out to me, and I vet the material and say, wait, yeah, this is great. Let me expand on this a little bit. Take this paragraph out, because I don't want to give that away. It'll spoil some things for the fans in the next couple of books, and so on.
Gotcha.
So that's completely different.
Have you play tested the game yet, or no?
I haven't yet. No.
Okay. It's definitely one of those things that's on deck as far as stuff we're looking forward to.
Yes, I'm being told early 2009.
Okay.
So
not a Gen Con sneak release this year.
No.
With going back to, you mentioned Eric Dresden. Total dork argument that's come up amongst my friends at least is this conspiracy theory about the origin of Harry Dresden.
Okay.
Right. It goes like this. Before World War II, Dresden, Germany was the pottery capital of Europe.
Okay.
The character's named Harry. His last name has something to do with pottery. Harry and pottery.
Oh, okay.
Is it a veiled Harry Potter reference, I guess, is the question.
No, actually, I wrote the first one in 1996.
Reed, you heard that.
And, yeah, I did. I wrote it in 96. And actually, by the time the books were sold, I'd never even heard of Harry Potter until he was on the cover of Time. And then I went and looked it up, and I think that was in late 1999, early 2000. And I'm reading that going, oh my gosh, everybody's going to think I took it right from there. And I just wanted to pound my head on the table, but then I kind of stopped and thought, 5 years from now, every 10-year-old who's been reading Harry Potter, is going to be looking for something else to read, because books like this, there are never enough of them to make people happy. So, okay, maybe that's not a bad thing after all. I'll be able to secure an audience anyway. But no, actually, the name came from his first name came from a part of Cast a Deadly Spell, where this enforcer comes up to Fred Ward's character. Fred Ward's playing the Private Eye, H. Philip Lovecraft, and the enforcer comes up, and the bad guy is playing a character named Harry Morgan, and the Kurgan is playing the bad guy, it's Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown.
And the enforcer comes up and says, Harry wants to see you. And Fred Ward leans back in his chair, all nonchalant, Private Eye. Oh, Harry wants to see me. Harry wants to see you now. And that just kind of got stuck in my head. Harry wants to see me. Harry wants. It was one of those kind of playing on loop refraining things. And then I was sitting there putting ideas together for the series. And that movie got over with, and I flipped channels and went to an episode of Babylon 5, and it's Box Lightner's up there, and he's talking about what the Shadows are up to, and he's listing all these other locations of psychological targets that were destroyed for their psychological impact, and at some point he's going through this list of targets, and he goes, Dresden, and it was like, Harry wants to Dresden, Harry wants to Dresden, and that's where it came from.
Beautiful.
So yeah, conspiracy theorists aside, conspiracy theories are way too much work. And I'm kind of a fundamentally lazy person, so I like to not put anything into a book that I'm not going to use at some point. But as far as that goes, no.
It's simple association.
No theory there. Yeah.
It was one of the more wild theories that came up. It spawned a 2-hour argument.
That's not bad though. That's not bad. I like it.
It's out there, but it kind of makes a little bit of sense, I suppose.
I should go out there anonymously and further the theory. I kind of like it. It's a little bit more clever than the actual one.